All right. Okay. Welcome, everybody, to all of our watchers and viewers and listeners. Obviously, this is not our normal format in regards to how we do our shows, but tonight we are pre-recording our show, so you won't be able to comment and or send us a message while this show is being aired. But we wanted to make sure that we are still getting the opportunity to get our shows out there and our messages in regards to what we're talking about. Tonight, we will be giving away our safe, fully raffling it off after all this time of everyone coming in and joining us in regards to buying some raffle tickets. Oh, I'm stuck between the war of two men with beards. Oh, it's going to be a night. I already see it. Anyway, welcome to another episode of CMCT. I am your host, Troy Skinner. Next to me is my co-host, the man with the plan, the only one who can stand,
Antonio Dean.
That's right. And then on my left side is a good close friend of ours and also one of our mentees, somebody who you've heard us talk about plenty of times on the show. There's a reason why he's here today. But introduce yourself.
My name is Eric Moore.
Eric Moore, look at him, Mr. Handsome over there. That's what we call him. So he's got the guns out for all the ladies and anybody else that's interested in seeing them. So once again, if you're not on our format fully, we are on YouTube exclusively now. Sometimes we will be live on the CMCT_show page on Instagram. But this is where we're at because we want to be able to get more opportunities for the show. And just streaming all the time, it doesn't get strong following. And we're not getting any true traction in regards to showing that the show is popular and what it's being able to accomplish. So we want everybody to migrate over here to YouTube. Join us. Be here with us. Like, share, and subscribe. And leave a message. Once we go back live, we'll have the chat open. You can chat and you can communicate with us that way. But right now, being that this show is a pre-recorded show, we are pre-recording the next two shows, tonight's show, and then on Thursday, which will be Pop Culture Night, we will be pre-recording that as well, talking about specific things. So, without further ado, I know a lot of you guys have been wondering who's going to win that awesome safe that we have been talking about for what? How long have we been talking about this safe since?
About 2 months now.
2 months, yeah?
We'll say about 2 months.
Yeah, we started in January, right? Top of January, didn't we? So, yeah, 2.5 months, over 2 months. So, we had a lot of you guys enter into this raffle. And
approximately 220 people.
Yeah, it's a lot. You see what I'm saying? It's a lot. So, if you are somebody who picked up some raffle tickets, somewhere in this box is your name. Somewhere in this box is your name. And it's not going to be Antonio or I who's going to pull. It's going to be Eric. So
we went through six rolls of sticky notes about this big. Wrote everybody's names out.
That way you know it's legit. We're not just pulling somebody's name out of our ass, right? So, all right. So, yes, dig your hand deep in the bottom there, in the middle. Make sure. All right. So whoever's name is on this sticky note is the winner and recipient of our safe.
Eric is going to hand deliver the safe.
With them guns. He gonna bring them guns to you.
Hand delivered.
But anyway, with no more stress or no more pressure in regards to who won, I'm gonna wing this around to him so he can tell you guys who the name of the person is.
Testing.
Make sure you look in the camera, baby.
The winner is Claudia.
Claudia. All right, Claudia. So you have a safe coming to you. I will say that she was one of the several people that we had that bought a lot of tickets.
Went ahead
Um,
and did
yeah,
the $100.
the $100. So we're grateful for everyone who participated, especially to you, Claudia, because you really wanted that safe.
Let me put Eric in the safe.
We're gonna put a piece of him in the safe.
Yeah, a piece of me too.
No doubt. That's what's up. So congratulations to you, Claudia, and congratulations to everyone who supported us. And
Thank you,
actually, yes, we're thankful to you guys for participating. It's very grateful in that regards. And we will have other things we'll be giving away in down the road in regards to our fans and everybody who supports us, because we know that sometimes you need a little motivation, right?
Mail order spouses. We will be sending them out.
Yeah, no doubt, no doubt. So, what is tonight's episode all about? Okay, and thank you for everybody who joined with us on the 50th episode as well, man. We're very grateful in regards to that. You guys doing stuff like that by being a part of our show and everything, and chiming in and enjoying it and sending us messages throughout the week about how much you enjoyed the show. We appreciate that. Tonight we're going to be talking about dating. Dating. What is dating? We're going to get into the definition of what dating is. And we're going to be focusing on an article that came out recently that spoke about dating and how young men, they always put it on us, right? Always our fault. It's our fault. Young men are not dating nowadays. They're not dating. What's causing that? It was a survey that was given. I guess they did something to talk to people and find out why people aren't dating, and they came up with a big number. So we're gonna get into that. If you're watching us, you should be watching us on YouTube at this point, and our YouTube is CMCT_show. You can go to our link tree, and if you want to help us and support us in any way, you can go to the link tree. Our link tree is going to be updated pretty soon, so it's not going to have any opportunities for you guys to go for tickets anymore. But you can go to the link tree, and in the link tree, you can see different things that we have available to those who watch us. The raffle tickets, once again, are not available, but you can send a special request. You can Cash App us, you can Venmo us, you can Patreon us, you can YouTube. Of course, you're already on YouTube, obviously, but this is a way to sign up and to subscribe a lot more easier. Instagram, we are on Instagram at CMCT_show, so you can go there. Facebook, CMCT_show as well. We do have a TikTok and Twitter, which will be updated even more. I actually posted something on Twitter the other day. Our shows are usually on these platforms as well. Okay, you pointing at me, making sure I do what I got to do. All right, so let's get into what we're talking about. Okay, dating.
Go back to the link tree tab.
The link tree.
Right click it. The tab.
The tab itself. Okay.
Pin
that. All right. Was it a pin in it before?
Yeah,
well, I remember it was. Must have. I guess. Yeah. So dating. Let's go. And turn it over to Antonio. He's pretty good with that stuff. So, what is dating? Okay, and for you viewers now, have you ever dated? Do you like dating? Do you hate the process of dating? We're going to be talking. The reason why Eric is here to the left of me tonight is because he's going to be giving his opinion. He's a young man, and it seems like that's who they're dealing with in regards to the opinion of dating. So we're going to get his views on it as well. All right. So while he's doing that, Eric, why don't you tell us? Do you like dating?
No.
What is it about dating you don't like?
The expectation.
Ooh.
The expectation that we're something now because we're dating. Dating is meant to figure out if we're compatible.
Okay.
And a lot of times people don't want to just address each other as friends.
Mm-hmm.
We can become like more than friends. We can, how do I say it? We can become more than friends. Like at first, people want to say, okay, we're just dating, but we're not really just dating. We have a title already.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't like dating in the sense that You expect me to do, you expect me to do something for you that I wouldn't do for somebody else.
Okay. Because of the term of dating.
Yeah.
Right. Okay. All right. So let's get to the definition of dating. What dating actually, the definition, the true definition of it, of what dating is.
To date, go out with someone in whom one is romantically or sexually interested. Keyword interested.
Mm-hmm.
Got the Merriam-Webster. Da-da-da-da. I know it's somewhere on there. Let's do it. Nigga, loud as shit.
I know what's going on.
A social engagement between two persons that often has a romantic character. A person with whom one has a usually romantic date. And then the rest of these are, or making a nope. To make a usually romantic social arrangement to meet with, to have a date with. So it is a romantic social arrangement. I like that. Let's look at Urban Dictionary. Dating is where two people who are attracted to each other spend time together to see if they also can stand to be around each other most of the time.
I love it.
If this is successful, they develop a relationship. Although sometimes a relationship develops anyways if the people can't find anybody else to date them, or are very lonely, or one person is only attracted to the other and pretends to be in love with the second unfortunate person who has the misunderstanding that they have found love. This occurs quite often and eventually leads to something called cheating. Normally, a meeting for two people to get together and see what the other person is like. In middle school and below, the term is used as an excuse to kiss people, commonly mistaken with young puppy love. We'll do one more. When two people really like each other, start hanging out with each other, and more of that kind of stuff. We've been hanging out, but I don't think we're dating yet.
Yeah, see, so this is what we were talking about prior on a previous show. People's perspective and their definition of dating is different. But go ahead, we got Wikipedia. So,
dating is a stage of romantic relationships in which two individuals engage in an activity together, most often with the intention of evaluating each other's suitability as a partner in a future intimate relationship. It falls into the category of courtship, consisting of social events carried out by the couple either alone or with others. The protocols and practices of dating and the terms used to describe it vary vastly between cultures, societies, and time periods. Although dating is most often colloquially used to refer to the action of individuals engaging in dates with one another, dating can also encompass a wide range of activities which fall outside participation in social events. The meaning of dating also shifted during the 20th century to include a more informal use, referring to a romantic sexual relationship itself beyond. I didn't like how that was written. Hold on. The meaning of dating also shifted during the 20th century to include a more informal use, referring to a romantic sexual relationship itself beyond an introductory or trial stage. Although informal, this meaning is very common and is used in formal speech as well as writing. Although taboo across most of the world for much of history, premarital sex has become increasingly common within the last century, beginning with the onset of the sexual revolution. Across a greater number of portrayals in film, television, and music, sex within dating has become increasingly accepted as a natural progression of the relationship.
Okay. So it's, I guess, a thing of, because, people don't really say we're courting anymore. They don't say that.
I don't even think they know that word.
Yeah, it's an old word, I guess, probably endangered in a sense. But when people tend to, are more apt to say we're dating. And so that becomes a problem because you don't know what that means. Is it sexual? Because the Wikipedia was just saying that. Is it sexual? Is it a thing of we're preparing for something bigger, or we're just going through the motions? And so I always say that dating is the time period in which people impress each other. Kind of, you mentioned a little bit something like that. Dating is a thing of people impressing each other.
Right.
I'm telling you everything you want to hear in my mind, what I think you want to hear about me, and you're saying the things that you think I want to hear about you, about how I feel you are.
Well, we typically put forth our best qualities.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. And so that's where I think people get in trouble because, for some people dating is, we're going out. Right? You see what I'm saying? We're going out. Like, I'm taking you to the finest restaurants. And like I said, that's a form of impression.
Yeah.
You're impressing that person,
You're showing them what you have the capacity to provide, at least for a man.
Is that for now or is that for the future? Because then those things should be different, right?
Well, then that's where we get into courtship,
Mm-hmm.
where you should be showing your intentions.
Okay, so let's read that. Good job, yeah.
Open that up. What's this real quick? Da-da-da. Pay special attention to someone in an attempt to win their support or favor.
Mm-hmm.
So again, now you're showing intention.
Okay.
Right?
Top one.
Be involved with romantically, typically with the intention of marrying. Right? Go to great lengths to win favorable attention. Risk incurring misfortune because of the way one behaves.
Okay. Yeah.
So then let's see. I know they got Merriam-Webster.
Mm-hmm.
Urban Dictionary. We'll do that.
I can't wait to see Urban Dictionary.
Let's see. Courting is the experience of developing a deep relationship with someone with a view of seeing if marriage is right for the couple without the complexity of sexual intimacy being part of that relationship.
Interesting.
Enabling each to find out everything about each other, developing unconditional love and trust without rushing things to decide if this really is the person you want to spend the rest of your life with.
Wow.
Dating is for fun, courting is for marriage.
Wow.
Traditionally, courting would include no sexual activity, but today, that is not usually followed. To have an excuse to not be dating, yet still routinely boning. A way to subtly deflect impertinent questions with sarcastic humor via archaic terminology without offending the one with whom one bones. Fucking Urban Dictionary. All right, yeah, let's go to Merriam-Webster. The act, process, or period of courting. Of course, they would do some goofy shit like that. I'll do courting, or where did I seen courtship just now? Am I blind? No, I seen courtship. There we go. Courtship, as in dating, a series of social engagements shared by a couple looking to get married. To court. Nope. 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 Jesus Christ. Court has a shit ton of definitions. Clearly. Work with us here. Okay. To seek to gain or achieve, allure, tempt, to act so as to invite or provoke, to seek the affections of, to seek to win a pledge of marriage from, to perform actions in order to attract or mating, to seek to attract, as by solicitous attention or offers of advantages. All right.
Then that one there.
To engage in social activities leading to engagement and marriage. So let's see. Lastly, Wikipedia. Let's see what Wikipedia says. Courtship is the period wherein some couples get to know each other prior to a possible marriage. Courtship traditionally may begin after a betrothal and may conclude with the celebration of marriage. A courtship may be an informal and private matter between two people, or may be a public affair, or a formal arrangement with family approval. Traditionally, in the case of a formal engagement, it is the role of a male to actively court or woo a female, thus encouraging her to understand him and her receptiveness to a marriage proposal. And then
we just get that last paragraph right there. The average duration.
The average duration of courtship varies considerably throughout the world. Furthermore, there is vast individual variation between couples. Courtship may be completely omitted, as in cases of some arranged marriages where the couple do not meet before the wedding. In the United Kingdom, a poll of 3,000 engaged or married couples resulted in an average duration between first meeting and accepted proposal of marriage of 2 years and 11 months. That's actually a really long time. With the women feeling ready to accept at an average of 2 years and 7 months. Regarding duration between proposal and wedding, the UK poll above gave an average of 2 years and 3 months.
Yeah, because I think the issue becomes this thing of the difference between dating and courtship. So,
right.
Some people feel like, okay, we're dating to go to courtship, or we're dating to, you have those phases where, okay, you meet, you date.
Dating does the work of what the parents used to do.
Dating does the work of what the parents used to do. That sounds right.
Yeah.
And then the courtship is the time of,
now that we've agreed that we may be suitable for one another,
there's the possibility of a future.
Let's see what intentions are reasonable between the two of us.
So what is moving in and living together about?
At that point, you might as well be married,
right? Which is why common law came into effect, right?
Because it's practically marriage. Why else would you live with someone?
Mm-hmm.
You're welcoming them into your space. Does it make sense? What else would you call that, nigga? You don't call that dating.
Mm-hmm.
Nigga, my bitch moved in. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
What are we really doing at that point?
What do you feel that is for you if at that point, say for instance, you've been quote unquote dating someone for a while and y'all decide to move in together? What does that represent to you? Does that represent, okay, this might be that this is bae, or that this is wifey, or she got to get the ring and then she's wifey?
She would have to get the ring.
She has to get the ring.
She would have to get the ring to move in with me. I'm not, and a lot of people be like, you got to see how somebody is before you marry them.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, nah, you got to get the ring because I don't like people in my space respectfully.
Mm-hmm.
So I got to see. This may be contradicting myself just a little bit, but I do have to see how you live by yourself and how I live by myself before you come into my areas. So we may not be compatible like when we live together, but I'll take that chance. I'll take that chance.
What do you think? You think you take that chance?
I'll take that chance.
I think a lot of men are taking
that chance.
Well, yeah.
Plenty of men take the chance because we're actually a lot more definite than women are.
Okay, true.
And, I don't believe that gets acknowledged often enough. Women are more so the ones sitting on the fence. They know that they want to get married and XYZ, but then we get into the modern world. Sure, they want to get married, but now it's, well, that's not what I seen on TV. That's not what I seen in Disney movies.
Mm-hmm.
The average man is not a fucking prince.
Right.
The average man is not making an excess of
$100,000
of money every year. Not at scale. And that's what they see, so that is what they want. So this is where I believe courtship began to die down, because at courtship we decide, you know what? I'm gonna help you build up, or I'll support you while you build up. And the man is out in the world obtaining resources, obtaining skill sets, or mastering skill sets to help him obtain resources for the home or homestead. The wife is at home tending to the home, receiving the resources that he's procured and amplifying them, multiplying them, right? That's how it originally
Right.
But now, women are watching TV, they're listening to music, they're on the internet, and they're seeing all these men who already have these things, and they don't have the patience, they don't understand what it takes to become successful. They have no idea. There was a Bill Burr, who was one of Patrice O'Neal's best friends and nearly one of his proteges. I remember I was in the Air Force, and this is before I ever got married, and the whole thing was, a caller had called in his podcast and asked him, about his situation with some chick or whatever, and she's constantly on his back giving him hell, right? About the time that he's spending building. curing resources. She's mad because she's not seeing him a lot. And Bill Burr gave his story of like, dude, I'm in New York. I'm in, or you know, moving between Boston, Maryland, and New York, and going to these comedy clubs. He's like, dude, I'm working a shitty job, 2 or 3 shitty jobs. But every night when I'm done working, and I've been up since who knows when, and I'm going to these comedy clubs, 2 or 3 hours, 4 or 5 hours sometimes, and I get home and I might get 2 hours of sleep, and I'm back up working 3 jobs, shitty jobs that are barely paying for the closet that I live in New York, right? And then he gets home, he's trying to date. He done had a couple of chicks. He's eating spaghetti every night because that is the cheapest thing that he can afford to make an excess of, right? And live in a closet at the same time, and be stressed out, sleeping 2 to 3 hours a night, working shitty jobs that are breaking his fucking back. But he's saving his money. He's working hard, and he came to the conclusion: "Well, you going down to the comedy club again? What is that about? You're not even making money up there. You're volunteering at this point." And he came to the conclusion that women don't understand what it takes to become successful. They don't understand the path, the road, the journey. It's not just overnight for the average person. For a majority of people, it will never be overnight.
Yeah, of course.
It takes years. The first 2 years that I was in the military, they didn't even teach me anything about computers and servers and technology. 2 years. They spent $100 and something thousand on my clearance, but never taught me shit about computers. And then I finally got a mentor who he spent 20 something years in the military. He said, "Man, this is what we're doing." And I got up under that dude's wing and, took off. And even from there, hell, man, I had to work my ass off to understand all of the shit that he was telling me, take notes and go and spend time. I'm the only one still at work. You're 24 hours on the clock in the military, but I'm there after our 8 hours that we're supposed to be there. I'm sitting there with the contractors because they typically work longer hours, but I'm learning from these dudes. And then eventually I get out. That was another 2 years of being at work 12, 15, 16 hours just to learn what is it that we're doing. How am I going to support myself when I get out? I'm figuring out the journey to become successful once I leave. So then I get out, very first job, $49.5. Well above the average salary, but to me, that's low. Because I get out the military, I don't have health insurance, I ain't paid for nothing yet.
Right.
I don't have a home. Me and the wife were done at that point. So now, luckily, it was a hotel job, so I don't have to pay rent. I'm getting, or not a hotel job, but a travel job.
Right.
They pay for you to be in a hotel.
Right.
So $49.5, $1,000, $1,000 and some change a week with overtime. But that's 16, 18-hour days. Not to mention the driving, because we're doing a travel job, doing shit ton of driving, going to the next location after location. So am I really making, this money?
Right.
Being on the road and we got to buy our own gas. They're not paying for that and all of this shit. But that's the journey.
Matching the output. Right.
Year and a half later, I end up in Idaho after another job, and then I make my first $80,000. 6 months after that, I go to my first $90,000 job. Within a year of that, promoted, making an excess of $120,000. And then from there, so on, over the next 3 or 4 years before I retired. But that was a journey, man. You know my story. We don't have to get into the whole thing on here, but car accident and all of these different things. And this is no smut on my ex-wife, but the hell that she gave me while I'm figuring this shit out in Idaho, building, putting shit together, networking, meeting all of these important people who are teaching me about tax law, teaching me about investing, teaching me about law in general. Shout out to Gary, Pastor Gary Carter, man. He was an incredible black man. And we had a night. I flew her out because she was still in Texas. I ain't living nowhere yet. I'm still working. I don't know, bitch, if I'm going to be here, if I'm coming back to Texas. I'm trying to figure out what we going to do. And she's focused on how come I'm not getting no time. So I flew her out. and I'm not religious, you know that, but
Mm-hmm.
she was Catholic.
Okay.
So Gary spoke her language a little better than me.
Mm-hmm.
So he said, "Man, invite her up to the office." Because Gary, again, we talking about a nearly 60-year-old man. He's 55 at the time. He stayed in that office. He didn't live there. He had a wife, daughter, but he spent 18, sometimes 20 something hours a day in that office
Mm.
because he's building, putting some
Mm-hmm.
shit
Of course,
together. He
of course.
understands the journey.
Mm-hmm.
Bring her by the office. Bring her by the office, and we're sitting there having a talk, and he's telling me, or excuse me, telling her all of the things that I've set in place based on the information that he shared with me.
Mm-hmm.
He's saying this man is working hard. We left that, and he talked to us for about 2 hours. And that was his hope because he wanted to see a young black couple succeed,
Mm-hmm.
a young black marriage succeed.
Mm-hmm.
And
So he counseled you guys.
yeah,
Mm-hmm.
sure. We leave and get back to my little apartment. Shit talking me the whole ride to the apartment. Shit talking me while we're that damn near half of that night following. You know what I mean? I said, well, he doesn't understand what it means,
To
or
build.
what it takes
Mm-hmm.
to become successful.
Mm-hmm. Do you
that
think
was when I decided it was over?
Yeah. Do you think, since we're using that as an example, do you
Yeah.
think there was enough time given during the courting or dating process to find those things out? Because we read what it said in some places 2 years. Do you think there was enough time given to see that? Because if we follow the idea that dating is to impress, then we're never seeing the negative aspects of the other person that we're dating, right? Because if all we're doing is some guys are good at taking women to wine tasting, or I have a friend, he got into wine tasting because of the girl he was dating, and so I always thought he was just smart enough to be the type of guy to impress a woman like that. You know what I mean? Because you find out you have commonalities, right? Like you see some of these people getting married, and they have a Star Wars thing because both of them are into Star Wars. Or one marriage was really cool is to see this. They were both MMA fighters, and they sparred at the wedding. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it's like
That's
when
actually dope.
it was very interesting to see. Like they both was, they had their gear on, and it was after the wedding vows, they went back to the after party. And
that's all.
do you think I think that people, because they don't date enough or they don't court enough, that those things are things that are missed, or is that person is hiding that? So then when you get together, whether you're living with each other or whether it's a thing where you just move in with each other after all the festivities is over, this is what's exposed to you, and you realize, you know what? This is something that, people drop the ball on in the dating and courting process. Do you think that that's something?
I'm going to tell you this. I'm only 29, but goddamn, I've had a life.
Mm-hmm.
Right?
Mm-hmm.
It has been my experience, not just my own personal experience. Again, I was in the military for X amount of time and then worked with the government for X amount of time. So typically where the places that you work, everyone there is not from that area.
Mm-hmm.
So many different people from so many different walks of life, over the span of about 8 or 9 years. And it's been my experience that women are able more often than men to maintain that representative much longer. Much longer. And this isn't like a pointing fingers kind of thing. But
Not at all.
I think women have more resolve in that respect because they're hypergamous.
Mm-hmm.
So until they feel that they have, especially if they've met a good dude, they're willing to hold on to that which they are not much longer. Dudes are typically, maybe a month or two. I still ain't fucked. All right, well, you know what I'm saying? Time for me to go.
And it's funny you say that because I've had, friends who even their mom told them, she ain't slept with you yet?
Yeah. Mom. We'll talk about
right,
my mom. We'll
right.
get into that
Right.
too. But
what do you think, Eric? Like, I mean, if you're, because you said you're not really big on the whole dating thing, but you're obviously looking for someone to share your life with in the future and to accomplish things like children and you know, I always believe that relationships are to avoid loneliness. I've broken it down to the base. Their relationships, when it comes to a male-female dynamic, are made for not, you know, today's world. Well, back in the day, it was you made children to run that damn farm.
Right.
You know what I mean? And the girls were going to be shipped off so you can get some stuff
Well,
from
it was that everyone played a part.
Yeah, absolutely.
Everybody had a role.
Right. But today, that's not what it's about. Today, because we have access to so much luxury and so many things that we can...
We have the illusion of options.
Yes.
Let's be clear about that.
So what do you think in regards to that? Like, as far as your sense of, okay, well, what are you dating for, if you are dating, or, you know?
A lot of people are just dating for companionship. Like, I'm very blunt in the beginning.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I tell you, like, I'm very busy, extremely busy. So I'm not going to be able to text you all the time. I'm not going to be able. So if that's going to be a problem, I'm not willing to make that compromise with myself.
Mm-hmm.
So when I say that, I'm telling you right then and there, you can't change me.
Mm-hmm.
I'm telling you my career is number one. So if you don't want to believe it, hey, it is what it is.
So what do you require from a woman then in order to be able, for her to be the one? Not so much on the physical sense. We're staying away from that because we're talking about, he's talking about the communication aspect.
Yeah.
You know, the things of dating and courting that is missed. Because I believe those things are missed because, like I said, people are putting on airs. They're saying, this is who I am, and that's really not who they are, right? Yeah. Because even if you did live with each other, there's always a thing of a masquerade that goes on for the beginning, right?
Yeah, sure.
Right? You know, when you see the jokes of a woman moving in, you know that your furniture is about to be changed over and
pictures,
you know,
up,
things.
all that, yeah.
Yeah, right.
Unnecessary stuff.
But why is that? And that's an old joke. That's no longer a trope, by the way.
Mm-hmm.
But why is that the trope?
I think it's that because it goes back to the nurturing aspect of a woman.
When women would come in and help make this house
a home. Yeah, I agree. I agree.
And that's no longer a thing.
Yeah, at all.
Well, I think, listen.
No longer a common thing.
Listen, you see a lot of young people nowadays because of the advent of social media. These couples that have these shows on Instagram and YouTube, and
everything is peaches and cream.
Well,
it's not.
The common thing that perturbs me is when a young man is playing his game, you know, with his personal time, and she'll come and find a reason to mess with him. And I see that because back that you know, that's the equivocation or the similarity of Al Bundy putting his hand in his pants, sitting on the couch, watching the football game. You know,
that's because he also worked all week.
Right, and that was his thing. Yeah,
the kids got everything that they need because I brought home the bacon to you. Make the bacon, give the kids what they need. Can I sit down and watch the game? Right.
So I think that's kind of translated into
a
young man wanting to play his video game and chill because he's, you know, and these chicks come and they'll mess with him, you know, or why you ain't doing that? I just saw a video meme where the girl goes, babe, and she opens her robe and the camera's over her shoulder and he's playing the video game. He looks and she's like, me or the game?
And he goes to the game probably.
Well, no, he was debating.
Yeah.
You know, he's like, why you doing this? Like, you know, he's playing. He's like, why? She's like, babe. And, you know, she's kicking him, me or the game. And he's kind of like going. But it lasted for a good 3 minutes where he's, you know.
There's a difference between it being between your chick and something like the video game and it being between your chick and something like your livelihood.
I agree.
Don't give me ultimatums. I understand ultimatums may be about hobbies. I can see that. But an ultimatum about I'm working. I'm building. No, I didn't make it home tonight, you know, early enough for us to sit and talk or whatever, but I made it home with resources. That's what I did do. Why would you give me stress about doing the things that are necessary? You know, hobbies are not necessarily necessary. So I can almost understand the friction there.
Well, I have a different thought on that because the thing is that I know that if a young man, like Eric mentioned, that he's working. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
like
sure.
he's working. He
That's
just,
what I'm saying.
you know, I don't. Are you a big video game player? No.
I
Okay.
don't have time.
Right. So I can understand where the annoyance comes in if you're always feeling like you're being fought for time for her.
Yeah.
I can understand that. I think a lot of these young men nowadays, they make additional money through streaming, playing them games, you know? I mean,
most of them don't.
Okay. All right.
Most of them don't.
Well,
now some of them might be trying to make that a thing,
mm-hmm.
you know, and I've seen where that's been an issue as well because that's kind of the same as a dude 30, 37 rapping, you know, trying to put a mixtape out, which, you know, and now that's funny for black people, but it's not funny for a 50-year-old rock star.
No, it's not.
And you know, so forth. So the ethics there are a little blurry, right? Whether or not it makes sense for a woman to be upset at that. But I believe the first thing that someone should do is look at why can this work? If I'm dealing with somebody that I love, this idea that they have, you know, why can that work? You know, and then afterwards we'll talk about why maybe it won't work. And how much time are you devoting to it? You know, does it make sense for someone who maybe is only working at FedEx to spend 10 hours a day, you know, after work to go and do video games?
Right.
Try to get a streaming channel up. Maybe.
But he would have to balance that out with
it
what
would have
he's
to be
looking
balanced
for,
with also taking care of the person. Because again, you've decided, especially if they're living together, you've decided to bring this woman or share a home with this woman. You do have obligations when you're dealing with another
absolutely.
person.
I always say that relationships, you know, there was a girl online recently. She was just like, you know, I love my husband, blah, 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 blah. She was very genuine, but she was like, y'all don't realize that this shit is hard.
It is
She's
hard.
like, dating, being married, it's not easy. It takes a lot of attention and a lot of, you know, sacrifice and care. And she said, you don't enter into this thing thinking that it's just all about you. And she wanted to say that as a public announcement, and I think it was admirable of her to be honest, because a lot of people aren't honest. They want you to see everything on the outside is looking good, which means everything in their mind on the inside is good. This other article here, right, that basically says some disturbing things. We spoke a little bit about it on a previous show, but right now it is something that, and I thought I guess
Just click
I did.
down and just click in the page. It'll reload.
Okay, didn't know that. Learn something new about Google every day.
I didn't Google. That's me. I said that shit.
This basically says 6 out of 10 young men are single. The disturbing reasons why. All right. This had came out on February the 23rd. That whole week they had been talking about it. A lot of different articles. And the fact that somebody I thought it was stupid, that said thank porn for 6 out of 10 young men for being single. We talked about that on the show. That's not the reason why 6 out of 10 men are single. Okay, it's not porn. Trust me. All right, but we're gonna read this and get into this because this is here.
It's gonna keep popping up.
You know, there's a lot to this, and it was basically the Pew PEW Research Center. They did a survey, and they found out that 63% of men under the age of 30. That's why we have Eric here on the show, because we're going to ask his opinion if some of this that's written was something that he can relate with. All right? Right. You want to get into this? Yeah, all right.
So, 6 out of 10 young men are single. The disturbing reasons why. They're not getting jerked around by dating anymore. New Pew Research Center data has found that nowadays 63% of men under 30 are electively single, up from 51% in 2019. It's actually funny following COVID. And experts blame erotic alone time online as a major culprit.
Before we move on, E, do you think that's true?
Yep.
Yeah? Okay.
Erotic alone time online? Is that keeping you from women?
Oh, no, that's not.
You just think that the 63% of men.
Yeah.
Okay.
The alone time online, no.
So maybe that's not a reason per se.
Porn? No, definitely not. Not
I mean,
for me
you
at
know,
least.
Whatever, however they get down. Young men are watching a lot of social media. They're watching a lot of porn, and I think they're getting a lot of their needs met without having to go out. Psychologist Fred Rabinowitz told The Hill.
Is that true? Are you meeting some of your needs without having to go out?
By watching a lot of porn.
Well, no, not by porn. No, porn,
But
no.
just overall.
But
are
not
you
like
meeting-
it depends on the case scenario. Like I can get a lot of my needs, and if let's say I want a female to come over, she'll come over, so I don't gotta go out.
So in regards to the sense of companionship.
Yeah, I can get the companionship anytime I want without dating.
Okay.
I think that's starting to be a habit.
Look how that segued.
The new post-COVID numbers would surely back up previous research that the pandemic has made men prefer an evening alone instead of actually meeting a partner.
That's a fact.
That
is
yeah.
a fact.
Now, I have a theory about that.
Okay.
We'll talk about that.
Okay.
Just half of single men as a whole responded that they are looking for a committed relationship and or casual dates, a decrease compared to 61% 4 years ago. So, about men, the post-COVID numbers, having got to the point of preferring an evening alone instead of actually meeting a partner. We sort of hit on this a show or two ago. Men under the age of 30 are supposed to be solidifying whatever their process is for procuring and maintaining resources so that he may go forth at 30 or older, because now that should be autonomous at 30 years old. You should have something set in place to where if you do nothing, you will have something.
Let me ask you a question. The difference between financial responsibility and having a place. Because Kevin Samuels was very big on, he didn't believe that young men should even look for a relationship until they were out and had a place and until they had some money.
That's exactly what I was about to say.
Yeah. So which do you think is most important? If he's still, like say for instance, he's living at his house, right, with his mama, but he's pulling in 60, 70K. Or he's living on his own and he's only pulling in 40K.
He needs to be saving money to, again, create something autonomous or something that's solidified where this is going to be a sure thing for me so that gearing towards my 30s, I can court a woman if I choose to.
Okay. Not date, but court.
Court.
So would he be able, in your opinion, would he be able to be dating while he's building that?
He can.
Okay.
But he would have to be very financially responsible. Dating is expensive.
I think he would also have to be mentally responsible and physically responsible because I think this is where it gets in trouble. Because see, if you're entering into the dating world in the sense of I just want to have fun, because we talked about that, right? There's a chance that fun can turn into danger.
Well, it gets expensive too,
right?
In many different ways.
You can have a child, right? Or you can, you're
spending too much money eating out because maybe you didn't want to bring her to the crib, or now you're sharing.
Or you don't have a crib.
Well, or you don't. But if you do, now you're sharing your resources. I also have to feed this other person. Maybe there are so many different variables. That's why I capped it off. He would have to be very responsible with how he shares his resources at that point. And a keynote example for me. There was a chick that I was talking to after my ex-wife, and she lived over in Virginia. A few years older than me, whatever. Working for the FBI. I'm at the gym, doing martial arts. I'm learning to invest. This is when I first started studying crypto. I have my entire schedule written out every day down to the my entire schedule is itemized. Every hour of my day, every minute, completely itemized. And the most free time that I had was the hour drive up to my job and the hour drive back. So that's 2 hours out of the day. I'm in the car.
For you.
You're more than welcome. You can call me on video. You can call me on the phone. We can text. Actually, I can text throughout the day because I had a computer job. So whatever, if you hit me, you know what I'm saying? That's fine. But as far as talking, because you know it's more intimate to you as a woman, whatever, we can do that. But I have time for that those 2 times out of the day. You're more than welcome. If that's not something that you want to do, she began to negotiate with me about my schedule.
Yeah, but see,
why are you working out so much?
Right, but that's I think I'm going back to what I said very early in the show. I think that's the problem about dating, because that's hardly ever discussed until like maybe the second or third month, where it's like you've invested this time and now all of a sudden you see that you're with a needy person.
Well, so it was this. Because it was long distance, right? I'm trying to be as cool as possible. To me, those are. I'm more than willing to deal with long distance. That was how my very first relationship. I've had more long distance relationships than I've had close. You know, whatever. This nigga, man. And her biggest issue was, well, how come you can't shave off some of the time? Because I sent her my schedule. I'm very frank and upfront. This is what the fuck is going on. And if you want to deal with that, I'll make it work because I like you. If you don't want to deal with it, I understand that. Please enjoy your life. You know what I'm saying? It became this big fucking, how come you can't just, because she's looking at the schedule, you know, if you just don't go to the gym, why would I not? I said, why don't you go to the gym? Right. Then maybe we could talk on the head, you know, on our earphones while we're at the gym. She had a problem. Well, while you're driving, I don't want to talk on the phone while you're driving, because
that's taught behavior. You know, somebody taught her that behavior.
Coming up with any and every excuse why this can't work. Look at why it can work. Well, how it can work.
Well, the problem is a lot of women are always comparing their relationships to others.
Absolutely.
But that's that impression thing again.
But so the reason I said that, I forget exactly what your question was, but to men preferring an evening alone instead of actually meeting a partner. That was how I got to this thing. Because again, I'm in my early 20s, and I'm doing it. I'm making this fucking money, and I'm saving. I'm like, hey, bitch, look, if all of this is a problem, because this is my last ditch effort, all of that is a problem, I'll fly you out on the weekend. We can do that twice a month. I don't care. I have the money. I'm willing to take some of what I'm investing, or what I'm setting to the side to invest, to also invest in a relationship, if you'll do it. I'm not flying out for no 2 days. 2 days? That's
not enough. All you want, nice life. All you want is sex for those 2 days. We probably won't even leave the room.
Have a nice life. Bitch, we're young. We're young. That's what we should be doing. But no, because okay, well, I say, look, man. You know what I'm saying?
But can you blame her, or can you blame the way things are set up?
You know, of course. But I'm saying whether that is on her or the way that things are set up, those are the types of things that lead men back into, and unfortunately they don't know why it's a good idea for them to be that way.
But I'm hoping
that this will
wrong. Yeah.
I'm hoping that this will reach them, because it makes sense for you to spend your 20s into 30 making sure that you have something stable, that no matter who comes along, I'm gonna be good. If I get hurt tomorrow, I'll be good. That's 12 years you should have been working. 12 years at least that you should have been working and setting things aside, orchestrating something to support you in the event that you are not okay after 30. In the event that, you know what, I think I've done enough to have a child. I've done enough to start creating a family. That's what that time is used for. And I believe that, again, that's something that this world has completely turned against. You know, yeah, it's cool for a young guy to go have fun and spring break and all that. I was not out partying. Nope. I didn't waste no time flying no fucking where. And a lot of my ex-wife, man, she was. How come we can't just? Well, the apartment we was living in, raggedy motherfucker, but I'm making it work. You know, the inside is nice because I renovated it myself and making sure we got decent shit to do while we up in here. Why else do we pay to live here? It makes sense. Let's spend some of our time here so that later Because now, you know, by the time I was 20, 26, 25, I was basically retired. Now I can go and do whatever the fuck I want to do.
Right.
Easy money.
Right. But
imagine
still,
not waiting a couple of years.
Still being smart enough to understand that, you know, you still have a future you have to work towards and you have to be mindful of.
That was my whole point.
Yeah.
She couldn't fathom that I would be done by the time I was 30. I never have to work another day if I don't want to.
Right, but you're an exception to the rule because
Sure.
a lot of young men nowadays, they're still stuck on
They're stuck on what
fun.
the new world
Yeah,
is.
they're having
but
fun
that's my
and
point.
irresponsibility.
This is getting back to what men are supposed to be doing.
Right, which is what the article is exposing.
You go and listen. There's a crap. I'm well studied, man. I love listening to different perspectives. There are a great amount of channels on YouTube that have elders speaking, Native American elders, and they talk about the way that structure once was and the way that it still is on a lot of reservations here in the U.S. Where they don't really follow U.S. culture entirely. You know what I'm saying? And there's a way that the young man gets the right. He has to earn it, but it becomes a right because he earned it. To go and be with somebody's daughter, to welcome her into their home, to spend his life with her and give her children and all of these different. It's a process, and he don't get to do that just because he turned 18 and now I'm grown, nigga. Is you know what I'm saying? There's hoes out here. We finna go. If y'all been on Tinder or TikTok late? Look at all of these different. They don't do that shit. They're still following what once made sense for humans. Let me secure my process for obtaining resources so that I can be suitable for one or many women who will have me. That's what makes sense. Not getting fucked up tonight, you coming out. I know we're 22 and we don't have shit. Let's waste all our money at the bar. Living paycheck to paycheck. Don't make no sense. Why would you do that?
You don't know better. A lot of people don't know better.
Well, they're a part of what the world is. But all of that to say, that's what that is.
Yeah.
That's not some phenomenon.
Yeah.
That's what these young men should be doing, spending time with themselves to understand, to establish some sort of structure or process, some discipline, so that when I move on and I say, okay, I'm ready to, let me have a lady around and help her get with my program. I've created a program.
Right.
This is how life works in my domain.
Right, yeah. And I'll say that's part of the battle for most men. That's why I always say I feel bad for my brothers because it's like a lot of these women don't even receive that program. That program is like foreign to them.
These niggas don't have programs.
It's foreign to them.
That's facts.
Who's programming? I know very few. Very few, but that's also what I came from.
Right, of course.
I came from that and was given that understanding that one of the number one things my dad always used to tell me is, nigga, skills pay the bills. You can sit in here all day, because I was the only boy with a shitload of sisters, and he would always say, nigga, you can stay in here and Disney Channel and Cartoon Network, you can do that shit all day. You can come out here with me and make some money. Skills pay the bills. And that's what I went and did. And as you know,
yeah, of course, right.
Hey,
right.
These motherfuckers is, very valuable hands. Shout out to my dad, man. Yeah, well,
Just half of single men.
I did miss that. Just half of single men as a whole responded that they are looking for a committed relationship and or casual dates, a decrease compared to 61% 4 years ago. U.S. adults between 18 to 29 who say they are single. Men, 51%. Women, 32%. There's some delusion in there, baby. That was in 2019. In 2022, it went from men at 63% and women at 34%. So those same women are dating, huh? Basically the same amount. Interesting. Experts say many young men would rather stay home and watch porn than go out on a date or go out and date. But these statistics tell a sadder truth about this generation of men. NYU psych professor Niobe Way told the outlet, "We're in a crisis of connection," Way said. "Disconnection from ourselves and disconnection from each other, and it's getting worse." I agree with that. Probably not for the reasons that they're about to give us. The male numbers come sharply juxtaposed to the 34% of women under 30 who now say they're single, which has seen only a slight pandemic rise in that age group. Another factor at play might be the interests of women changing, especially as suitors of the same age are becoming apparently less desirable, experts said. Women would rather go to brunch with friends than have a horrible date, LA couples and family psychologist Greg Matos said. But more women think that they're taken. So that doesn't make sense, what they said. Anyway, U.S. adults who say they are single. Men overall, 32%. Women, 28%. That's ages 18 to 29. Oh, no, that was overall. Ages 18 to 29. Men, 63%. Women, 34%. Ages 30 to 49. Men, 25%. Women, 17%. Ages 50 to 64. Men, 28%. Women, 30%. Ages 65 plus. Men, 25%. Women, 39%.
Well, 65 and plus, a lot of women have a longer...
Those women are lonely.
Well, before we even get to that, because you're right, because even Kevin Samuels talked about that, but 65 and plus, women live longer anyway. So the likelihood...
Actually, that's changed. It's shifted quite a bit.
Yeah, I mean, because of this generation, but most of the time, that's how it's always been, because men endured more stress. They had to work harder. They had a lot more going on. A lot of men, died from physical exertion rather than women. But now I agree with you.
Women are dying younger.
Yeah, they're dying young. Well,
They're
everybody's dying younger now because of
they're homeless younger. Mm-hmm. They're running out of resources because they, I bought a house, I bought a Benz, and I'm a bad bitch, Mac makeup, and all of that stuff.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? But and then you turn 65, you don't have a retirement plan, you don't have a 401k, you don't have any cash reserve of any sort. You have no assets.
Well, you have no worth at that age.
Yeah, you have no assets.
Pretty much taken care of by
and
the
you're
government.
single at that age?
Well, that's what that's mostly about.
That's the insanity. Mm-hmm. The numbers have shifted so drastically as they age because women are unagreeable or disagreeable. What is it that they're doing for these men? What are they keeping up their end of the deal primally?
No, of course not. You already know that.
That's really the issue.
You already know that, but that in itself is the issue.
But yeah, men watching porn has impacted the way that they date, experts say. The expectations of American men are also rising the minds of women. According to masculinity expert and University of Akron professor Ronald Levant, who added that unfortunately so many men don't have more to give. But perhaps the largest issue now with young men, one highly impacting their social abilities, is that they are as a whole more lonely people than women. That's not new news. Men take time to themselves to think and plot and orchestrate and worry about the future.
The problem with the article and the problem with most of these people talking is that they're equating everything to a base sense. It's all about sex. So if you equate it to that, then what you're saying to them is rhetoric. They don't even understand that. And a lot of young people don't. I mean, I think part of the problem became the MTV generation, the VH1 generation, the BET.
It's party time, nigga. Real world and all of that shit.
Yeah, the dating shows, the reality shows that you see, like, Temptation Island and shit like that.
Flavor of Love, he really fucked the game.
Yeah.
Entertaining show.
Yeah. Well, I mean, listen, because even in those environments, those are exceptions to the rule. To take someone out, if you haven't been working on yourself financially, how are you going to have the money to even say, okay, I'm going to take somebody out to impress them to a nice restaurant? You know what I'm saying?
That's my point.
For some guys, it become a thing of all they're doing is working to impress.
If you can't,
that's facts.
it's not about proving that you can do such and such with resources. You should just be able to show it.
I agree.
This is what the program is here. Can you get with it? No? Next.
Yeah. But that's a huge number of next. You know what I mean? Like there's so many women out there. It's unfortunate. So
how do you navigate that? Because
see, that's why I just don't date. Exactly what he said. I lay everything up front. Like I'm very extremely busy, and I don't have time to do this for you, this for you, this for you. So if you're gonna be with me, I mean, we can be companions.
Is that more of a test, or is that just how it is?
That's just how it is. It's not a test at all. Well, no, it actually could be a test because the one who sticks around through that whole thing should be mine.
Like I said,
now, Infinite Cat should be mine. She'll be my wife.
The ex-wife didn't. She only would have had to wait another 2 to 3 years.
No,
another 2 to 3 years.
That's
barely.
facts. It is a test, actually. That's why I like older women because older women, they don't have really much time left. No, so they're gonna get with the program, and then if they stick around and I like you, then hey, we might.
The issue with that becomes how much older.
I mean, I don't discriminate. I really don't.
Well, hold on, but listen, because now this is game. This is for everybody listening, men and women.
Not too old though.
How much older?
So Cher will be too old for you?
70. Yeah, because you're gonna die soon.
Yeah, but you're not thinking. Well, like most women would get with an older man because he's gonna die soon.
Men and women aren't the same.
Because I won't be happy with her.
What if he wants children?
And I want children.
Right, but if she's 70 years old, how much longer you gotta wait?
I might have to wait.
A man can have kids up into his 50s.
But that's why we're different.
But see,
it's okay for a woman to date up. A man dating up in age doesn't really benefit.
I think he's missing what I'm saying. I'm using Cher as an example.
Well, yeah, sure.
That's money. That's just for money, though.
But how long? What if this bitch lives till 99?
Well, I mean,
he'll be 40 when she's 99.
Is it everything a gamble?
That's wild.
Well, so hold on, man. Listen,
we just jumped.
We're gonna get back to it.
Yeah, we'll explore that here momentarily.
Mm.
But you have to look at how has a woman taken care of herself.
Right.
If you're a young man and you're in your 20s and you say, you know what, I'm about to fuck with this 35-year-old joint right here. 35. She's already at risk of geriatric pregnancy.
Mm-hmm.
How healthy is she?
Mm-hmm.
Was she a hot Cheeto and shots kind of bitch up until she was 35? Or was she someone who cared about herself and, stayed in the gym and learned, the healthier foods to eat and she looking at you like, nigga, what are you eating?
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Is that what you're dealing with? Are you dealing with somebody who took care of their health and their body and their mental state? Or, nigga, what if her body is falling apart? What if this bitch ain't never stretched a day in her life?
Yeah.
Sure, she might still be cute, but for how much longer?
Mm-hmm.
People say black don't crack, but guess what?
It does.
Everything cracks if you don't take care of it.
In time, that's just the way it works.
Yeah.
Whether your genetics are good or not, if you still eating hot Cheetos, nigga, and you damn near 40 years old, what the fuck are we talking about? Why are you still going to McDonald's?
So back to what you were saying.
Well, that's what I'm telling him.
Yeah.
Because you said, I don't discriminate. Nah, fuck that.
Nah,
you need to discriminate.
That's real.
People talk about unconditional love, nigga, but that don't exist.
No, it
at
doesn't.
all.
No.
It does not exist.
Everything has a condition.
Yeah.
Everything is transactional to an extent.
Yeah.
And that's not a bad thing. Get rid of these different connotations associated with these words and look at the actual definitions. Humans. Even nature is transactional, nigga.
Mm-hmm.
You plant a seed and you water it, what do you get?
The plant. Yeah,
You know what I'm saying? Something that might bear fruits or vegetables, whatever. Stop fooling yourselves. Don't, all this shit that's fanatical, these fanatical illusions, don't discriminate. Unconditional love. This is only your pussy. This is the craziest thing I've ever experienced. This is the best thing ever. All of those different things, we can all say these to anybody.
That's facts.
So now, that being in mind, nigga, what is my program? Have I developed one? Can I sit you down and say, look, this is the game plan. This is how things are gonna go. Are you with it? You know, if that's not something that you're able to present to somebody, it doesn't matter what their age is, what they've been through, what they do or don't offer, it's still gonna crumble because there was no foundation to begin with. Who's that fall on?
Right.
Falls on the man.
Right.
Get your shit together, nigga. Before you're 30, leading into 30, before you're 40.
Opens up your options.
By the time you're 50, nigga, you shouldn't even. You should be working because that's what you feel like doing at that point. If you want to.
Yeah.
It don't take 40 years to retire.
So do you think that men are more lonely than women?
I think men are more lonely by choice.
Okay. But like I said, is it a sexual thing or is it a thing of wanting to experience time with someone? Because, you know, there are more activities now for younger men than there have ever been in the history of man, right? So, you know, a young man is always going to fall into his self of wanting the lures of a woman.
Yeah.
That's just part of the nature of things, right? The attraction.
Well, that's why we work. That's
Initially,
practically why we
initially, because now you got these young men who have found ways of making money without having to put the hard work in.
Sure.
Right.
It's hard work. It's relative to this generation.
In regards to what I'm saying.
Well, hard work is relative to what it once was.
Right. Yeah.
Now,
I mean,
now it is hard work to sit in video game and edit videos and upload them and then promote and
right. Well, I'm talking about the difference about working in a steel mill or working on a automobile line compared to what they got going on. In their mind, it's hard work, but it's not. You know, it's like okay, but anybody's time is always an expense. So, the loneliness is, you know, because we're being onslaughted with images of what it is to be pleasured and what it is that you need in order to make you who you are and give you what you need.
Facts.
You know, the loneliness I'm talking about, because I believe it's two tiers. I think sexual loneliness and loneliness of companionship.
Yeah. See, companionship, like being real, I could have a female at my house anytime I want. Like, but sometimes I just want straight companionship. Like, I don't want to do nothing. I just like the presence. Like, I'm a masculine dude. Having feminine energy around me sometimes balances me out a lot. So a lot of men don't understand that. A lot of men just think, oh, yeah, I got to be with her because I'll be lonely if I'm not. No, just be with...
No, because there's a point where you want her to get out.
Yeah.
And go.
I can't be around you all the time. Give me time to miss you.
Right. Yeah. That's old school. That's how it was anyway.
Yeah.
So,
as Patrice O'Neal, rest in peace. Men, we don't want to be alone. Or no, we want to be alone, but we don't want to be by ourselves. If that makes sense.
It does.
Right?
Yeah. You being in the house is fine for me.
Sure.
Opposite
So
side,
you could be in the area. You could sit across the room and watch.
That's where men have to equip themselves and become more astute in understanding that sometimes ain't good enough for women, because they deal with chaos,
societal pressures.
No, they're chaotic creatures. So you good, right? You in the shop doing something, she gotta come fuck with you.
Sure.
And men have to learn to be okay with that's how she's wired. If you pick this bitch and that's who you got to understand that this is the woman you chose when you was courting and dating.
Well, you can never be mad at someone for being what they are.
Absolutely.
No, I get that.
Absolutely. I firmly agree.
Who you are is bullshit.
But
what you are is something that doesn't change. And what you are is primal. It's biological. It's in you. You know, and that's something that y'all got to understand. You can never be mad at someone for being what they're supposed to be.
Yeah, I think the audience needs to understand that, man, because some people get caught up and they don't realize that courting dating time is when you really take the time to realize that you cannot change that person. That's who they are. Some people use courting and dating periods as a thing of, well, she smoked, I'm gonna get her to stop smoking. I've heard guys.
I used to do that. No, that's real. But you can't do it. You can't do that at all.
Okay, well, you're wisening up. Let's finish this article.
In the early 1990s, 55% of men were reported to have 6 or more close friends. That percentage dwindled down to 27 in 2021.
Damn.
according to the American Perspective Survey. Now, 15% of men say 15% of men say they have no close personal friendships. Data compiled by the Survey Center on American Life found. I think a part of that, I'm an astute individual. I pay attention to so much shit, right? Where I began to see this, because again, we're not definitive enough at this point in time, right? My little sister's generation and forward, so that's 1996 and forward, these kids are hearing these buzzwords: introvert, extrovert, I'm a loner, and
That's facts, actually.
all of this bullshit that they're hearing on Degrassi is what it was. These adult-like teenage shows, right? So they're hearing all of these different things that these weird-ass adult writers are putting out, putting adult-like things on people who are in middle school and high school. So now these kids take these words, bipolar, all of this different shit. I remember it was so big, it was cool to be bipolar. I'm that way because I'm bipolar.
That's facts.
Nigga, you ain't even been to the doctor.
Somebody just wants
You
to
ain't
be
even
something.
diagnosed.
Your
with
parents
it, yeah.
can't afford the doctor. What the fuck are you talking about?
Mhm.
But they seen it on TV, right? And then now they're watching these reality shows, The Real World and Flavor of Love, and all of this different shit.
Temptation Island.
Yeah, all of this crazy shit that these kids are watching, and that's where we started getting these people talking about, I don't fuck with people. I be by myself all of the time.
Antisocial.
I'm antisocial. All of this crazy shit that they're talking. They don't even know what the fuck it means. They got people that they fuck with every single day, but they're antisocial.
I think close person, like I said, this article has made it very base. And I think when they say no close personal friendships, they're even equating that to sexual.
Sure.
Because a lot of people feel like, when you hear guys say, me and old girl, we're homie lover friends, or friends with benefits, right? Because that was a phrase that came around
came
at
from the 90s.
At the 90s. I remember when that came, OPP kind of segued into that. So I think people don't understand the true definitions of what, like I said, dating, courting.
We're not definitive
couple.
enough.
Yeah.
We're just using words because I heard it on something. That was my show.
And
that was my movie.
It describes my relationship at that time, this situation I'm going
They
through.
think it does, right? Not because they're using context clues, but the context is off. And that is problematic. So again, you bitch ass niggas got phones. You know what I'm saying? Y'all got smart watches and TVs that got web browsers and all kind of shit on it. It takes a minute. You will Google some of the dumbest shit.
And put
You
it
will
to
go
yourself,
on social media and ask a question that you could have asked Google.
That's funny. That's facts.
You ask a question that you could ask Google. Where's the Walmart out here? You got Google Maps. You got Apple Maps. Use this technology to become more definitive. These things, this is powerful. 1960 something? They had some of the first, mainframes and shit. The personal computer for at home came around like late 90s or late 80s, right?
80s, yeah.
Them things was fucking huge.
Yeah, huge.
Heavy as shit. $5,000, $6,000 at that time. Y'all gotta understand, man, how vast and how powerful this is to be in your hands and you're still confused about what's really going on in the world that you live in. It's really contributing to the turmoil that the system has inflicted on us all as people in general, socially.
Question.
Sure.
So you think that people using those terminologies like bipolar and stuff, people just want to be accepted?
Yeah. It's just another thing.
Thought so.
In the 90s, everybody had that same couch. Everybody had that same lamp with the 5, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
All of this different just because we seen it on TV or, Salt and Pepper was doing it and whatever.
Yeah.
The real
I
owners
seen
don't say that.
TLC had, left eye had the joint under her eye, the other bitches wearing parachute pants or whatever the fuck, and, everybody, you talk to some of these 30-year-old bitches because they from the 90s, Go and listen. Look at how they dress and how they talk.
Yeah.
They still think it's the '90s in their head. Just like at one point there was 30-year-old bitches and men who thought it was still the '80s.
Well, people tend to be nostalgic about the times of their teen or their late teen
Their
life.
20s and shit.
Yeah, when they were having the best time. You know. Let's finish it out.
Yeah.
All right. They got the brother. He ain't got no friends. He ain't got no friends.
And his waves are bad too. That's not his fault. Most
He ain't
rich,
got no friends.
Most rich people don't be having good haircuts, I'll be saying. Or, people that they put in the media don't be having good haircuts. Anyway, now 15% of men say they have no close personal friendships, data compiled by the Survey Center on American Life found. Young men have less of a dating desire at the same time when reports show they have fewer friends as well.
Just lonely as hell.
Bullshit. Women form friendships with each other that are emotionally intimate, whereas men do not, said Levant. Even while not dating, women have girlfriends they spend time with and gain emotional support
That's
from.
very true.
But that's natural.
Right,
That's
of
what
course.
women do.
Of course.
Women have always done that.
Mm-hmm.
The housewives, standing,
Cackling hens.
calling it,
hens.
so and so got the new mixing bowl. You know what I'm saying?
How you doing? The Lord's good in your life, girl.
Man, calling the fish and find out what she can call and tell other bitches about you. Women don't like each other. That's what that is. They're not actually in these friendships, but it's some sense of nature between them.
Of course.
Right? This is how they interact.
That's
the
how
same
they
way I could have 3 or 4 homies from the military right now. And let's say we decided that we was gonna grill today. And me, you, and Eric got the grill out back, and I bring these dudes up. None of us could ever, other than us 3 already knowing each other's name and me knowing their names, I might not even introduce them by name. And we could be here all day eating, having drinks, talking the good shit. Nigga, we might get into teach a nigga some karate or something. And at the end of the day, we all go home and none of them know anybody's names. Because men just had a good time.
That's facts. That's facts.
Right? That's the difference between men and women.
Yeah, we share and we entertain ourselves through knowledgeable things.
Yeah.
Through things that help
things that are functional.
Yeah, functional. Women tend to emotionally.
They enjoy intangibles.
Yeah.
And they're supposed to.
Whether it's through gossiping, whether it's through a cry session, a purge session about a man. Bitch, this nigga, he did this, and I can't stand. Girl, I know what you talking about. Men, we do engage when we talk about women, but it's a different thing. Our thing is always a question of.
We're figuring out how to do it better, how to enhance it.
Yeah.
What are the commonalities that maybe I didn't notice that some of y'all know?
Yeah.
We're scientific about it.
Yeah. We talked previously about we gotta bring that back about
Share.
dating. Well, yeah, share.
Or dating up.
Dating up. Because if you're, listen, what if it's as a person like you have you're young, but you have a mature outlook on things sometimes, right? So dating for you is going to be different than for the next man, right?
For sure.
Well, I mean, you think about the 20s or some guys that come out of high school and they go right into marriage, right? And a lot of them struggle in that.
Yeah, that's wild.
Sure.
Unless you're stable.
Speak on it. Speak on it. The age difference. The difference with being in a committed relationship at a very early age compared to when you're older. Because say, for instance, a lot of young guys, they get with a woman at an early age, like before college, and they're a couple and they get married and they feel they're going to build together. What do you think about that? Building together. Is that something?
You don't even know who you are yet.
Well, no, that's what I said earlier. They've gone through some sense of rites of passage, right? They have things that they definitely relate on life experience-wise, and they say, you know what? I know that you know what makes sense at the very least. Are you willing to work towards a common goal? That makes sense coming out of an institution. Same thing happens in the military. Often it works. Sometimes it doesn't. It's not unsensible for two people experiencing something similar to say, you know what, I seen you when I was doing that. You seen me while I was doing the same thing, going through whatever. There's a certain type of camaraderie associated with that, and they decide to see if things will work out. We both know what we're doing. You know, whatever our degrees were, we both know what professions we're going into. Very often, they studied the same thing.
Mm-hmm.
Sure, let's go in on a business. Let's go in on, career. A career path together, and just collaborate.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, that makes sense. I don't think there's anything about that that doesn't make sense. White people do that shit all the time.
Yeah.
Asians do that shit.
Yeah.
Mexicans go and do that shit, and so forth.
Mm-hmm.
Black people.
Mm-hmm.
I'm fresh out of college.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying?
Do you think? Because in the time that I've known a lot of brothers that's gotten married,
Yeah.
you think there's a fear with that commitment? Do you think there's a fear? Do you have any fears?
With commitment?
Well, yeah. Do you feel like you're going to be losing out if you commit?
Not. I just know it has to be the right time in my life to commit.
Okay, so it's not about the right person as much as it's the right time.
Well, no, it's the right person and right time. So I know I have to get where I'm going in order to give her what she needs. Because
So question, at the age of 35, none of that's happened. Are you pressured at that point, you think?
I mean, if I put that pressure on myself,
Okay.
that's pretty much
So
it.
you don't have a time in which you...
No, see, when I first met you, you know me. I used to be like...
That's why I'm asking you.
No, yeah, when I
asking.
first met you, I used to be like, yeah, I'm going to get married in my 20s. No, I'm going to get married when I got my shit right. Like, I'm not...
Now, why? Why wouldn't you have your shit together?
Why wouldn't I?
No, why are you waiting until you have your shit together?
Oh, because I can't deal with all the... she's going to need attention, a lot of attention. I know she's going to need a lot of attention. She's going to need the dates. I'm going to have to be able to pay for this, pay for that. And I already know I want to give her the life that I know she should have. And I know right now how my stuff is going. I could do it, but I'm going to be stressing a little bit. So I'd rather not stress while I do it.
You won't be saving much either.
That's a fact. That's true too.
So the reason why I asked that, yeah, we care about people in the world and all of that, but the black community is most important. Right?
Mm-hmm.
One of the biggest issues with commitment between black men and black women, they could be a hard-working young dude. Maybe he's making $40,000. Maybe he's making $35,000. Maybe he's barely making $30,000, but he's working, right?
Mm-hmm.
Maybe they're good fresh out of high school. They're okay for the first year or so. And then maybe she has friends from high school who are dating drug dealers.
Mm-hmm.
Or maybe they're just dating men up in age.
Mm-hmm.
And they're going on trips and, these bitches having bags and coats and whatever the fuck bitches do and makeup and all of that stupid shit. Cackling hens that she's communicating with.
Mm-hmm.
Now, this dude making $30,000 at a respectable age, 18, 19, 20, he's building. He is solidifying his process on procuring resources.
Mm-hmm.
But because of everything else that she sees, and she's comparing her relationship to others, not to mention our generational trauma,
That's a fact.
of what black men are seen as in the media, how they're depicted, how they're treated in the news, and all these different things. This broke ass nigga, you know what I'm saying? For real.
No, that's facts.
This bitch ass nigga, he can't even. Nigga, we couldn't even go to Menchie's and get a yogurt. He always talking about we got yogurt at the house.
Girl, we go to Miami at least 3 or 4 times, every other month or a year.
From his perspective, bitch, we're 20.
Mm-hmm.
We're 20. Mm-hmm. Can we work up to it? Can you help me work us up to it?
But that goes back to my question again. Is that something that can be pinpointed as an issue during dating or courting? Why are enough people not paying attention to the flags? What do you think is causing them to
They don't
miss
want to have that uncomfortable conversation in the beginning. And I have that uncomfortable conversation in the beginning. I'm not doing this. This is what's going to happen. If you don't like it, I'm sorry.
You think a lot of men compromise?
Oh, most definitely.
Yeah.
I won't make a compromise with myself because I know where I'm going is bigger than where I'm at now.
Is the compromise loneliness or fleshly loneliness? They just want to have the sex.
A lot of dudes, don't want to be lonely right now, like in the present. But I'm lonely now because I choose to be, so that when I'm ready to not be lonely, I have all my shit structured.
Are you lonely or just alone?
I'm just alone.
Okay,
Well,
that's it.
Probably men have when making a connection of some sort, men will feel obligated to someone else's well-being. Because that's what we are.
We're providers, yeah, of course.
That's what we are. That's what we do. So you get these guys, even with women who already have children. They'll say, you know what, I'm gonna do this, whatever, whatever I got to do.
Which most of them shouldn't actually.
They shouldn't, but I'll figure it out. Right? That's the black community, moreover than any other community. Not saying it don't happen in other communities, but it's very prevalent in our community, based on or as a product of what we've dealt with over the last few centuries.
Yeah, that's what I think we were talking about before the show. I was telling you about that. Trash is a trash movie. I think the short was a lot better.
But Bruiser.
Just Bruiser. And what happens basically is the one woman was friends with two men. One that she was in a relationship with. The other one was like a bigger brother. The one that was in a relationship with her was very, very. You couldn't count on him. He was very irresponsible.
Yeah.
She got pregnant by him. He hated the baby and ran off. The other guy stepped up. Obviously, there's always that side
She
guy.
fell in love with that nigga?
Yeah, and they married and they raised the boy.
Yeah.
The other father decided to come back because he wanted to love his son. He got out of prison, did a little bit of living in the world.
Yeah.
And so now you're dealing with the contention between the two fathers over the son. And I'm not going to give too much of a spoiler, but the thing is you have to pay attention to what the writer and the director decided to do in the film in regards to how the mother plays a part. Because that's the part that people weren't paying attention to when I was looking at the reviews. People weren't really understanding, because what happens is so absurd. But it's all part of a way to still, demolish the black patriarchy.
She probably just finds a whole new one.
Well, I mean, I don't want to give it away. It is something to it's if you have Amazon,
I'll watch
you can watch it. But it is something to watch just to see how they see us, mentioning what you're talking about in the public eye. Why am I saying that? Why is that important? Because even in this sense, you had this girl who was deciding. She had two suitors.
Yeah, basically. She felt like she had options.
And so in that regards, why talking about the loneliness for men, why are they doing that to themselves? Where they're, what I'm saying, they're feeling like, oh, okay, I'm, this is it. I'm gonna go ahead and just get married right now at the age of 20 or 21.
A lot of it
I think that reaction is primal.
A lot of them it stems from childhood too.
Okay.
If you've seen your parents happy, then you automatically think, okay, I want to be like that. But you may go too early. So, I mean, sometimes if you have a single mother, I have both my parents, so I can't speak. But sometimes if you have a single mother, I think that you always want to be loved, so you just want to make sure you always have somebody, so you rush into shit. So, I mean, it can change depending on different circumstances.
So off of both of what you're saying, it sounds like to me that that's something that people feel like this is what I must do.
Yeah.
Whether it's on the emotional sense or the primal sense.
Yeah, it's a primal obligation. To what you said, and one of the other issues is that we're not really passing on the knowledge of how to do these things.
That's a fact.
Right? For someone young like that who maybe they experienced that with their mother and their father, but their mother and father didn't tell them, hey, this is how you do it. The mother and father didn't make them or didn't choose themselves as counsel, mandatory counsel, as you're dating and courting and figuring this out. And especially with the world also telling them that they're grown at 18. You got to, now you can do whatever you want to do. There's so many different factors that play into all of those that decision making process for younger people who may be in love, or maybe it seems like they got married early, different things like that. You know, at one point, 2 14-year-olds marriage was normal. Why? Because we understand, based on the traditions that have been passed down, the knowledge that has been passed down, you know, the instructions that we've been charged with as two people bringing something into this world. We have to go be productive members of society.
The world was much more simpler in regards to survival. Like you understood you had to get up and go tend the farm. And you had to build a house, and you had to, you know, take the wagon.
Take care of each other.
Yeah, you had to.
Because the rest of the world's not going to do it.
Yeah. You didn't have the leniency that a lot of young people have, where they can be in the house all the way up to 18 or 19 or 20, and you know, oh, I got college now.
Well, capitalism changed that.
No, you learned
Henry Ford's point.
Yeah, well, his movement, absolutely, it was that movement. So we're back on age, because that's a very important aspect of it. Dating and age and the double standard. I think there's a double standard. Absolutely.
Oh, there is.
Women get away with so much more.
Well, men are not hypergamous. Women are.
Right, of course. And Cher, who, you know, well, listen, man, she looks better than Madonna.
Yeah, Madonna's okay.
Right?
Madonna's gross.
Come on, I know how we feel about white chicks, but you know.
Have you seen her lately?
Madonna?
Yeah,
No, I haven't.
And she dates younger men as well.
Come my way.
Well, you know, Madonna's dating younger men as well.
Oh, okay, yeah.
At 64.
No.
She don't look nothing like Cher, you know. And a lot of times it's just...
It's like her glasses are the same shape as her face.
Yeah, you know, listen, I think
wild.
I think Madonna, you know, listen, they both, you know, Cher talks about her drug days, but, you know, Madonna, I think a lot of it is the inside that comes out as well. You know what I mean? Honestly.
The inside. Oh.
You understand spiritually.
Yeah. I got you. Yeah.
Ain't no telling what they done did.
Right. And you know, we ain't judging them, man.
You like it, I love it.
Do what you gotta do, baby.
You know. But, you know, Cher is, if you guys don't know, we're going to read a little article about Cher. Cher is dating a younger man, 40 years her junior, right?
So, Cher and boyfriend share passionate kiss during red carpet debut. The couple posed for photos ahead of the Versace fashion show in West Hollywood. West Hollywood is so fucking trash, dude.
It's an experience.
It's an experience, nigga. Go. Cher and her younger beau, Alexander Edwards, stepped out in style for the Versace FW23 show in West Hollywood yesterday, March 9th, where they strutted their stuff on the red carpet amid bouts of shared laughter and even a sweet kiss. The Cher show star, 76, wore a shiny leather jacket reminiscent of a Galaxy design with its purple-blue shading and silver rhinestones and studs bedazzled across it. She wore a royal blue bodysuit beneath, with matching eyeshadow and blue streaks in her hair to pull the whole look together. Yeah, that's what she did. Meanwhile, Edwards, 37, wore all black with gold snaps and buttons on his jacket. The couple appeared to be having a blast together as they posed for photographers. Edwards' head tilted back in laughter as Cher's hand rested against his abdomen. That's right. This nigga, he reminds me of Zach Fox. If you know who Zach Fox is, this is funny as hell. It's ridiculous. That's like a play on a P code. It's tight. I'm not reading that caption. In another shot, she leaned in close to press a kiss against his cheek, appearing to do so amidst all of their giggles. I'd be giggling like a motherfucker too, nigga.
That's a
Ice
grill.
the fuck out.
Grill.
My nigga, how he got the gold buttons on the modified P coat. You know what I'm saying? He's supposed to be doing. He's supposed to be laughing at shit right now. Finally, she went in for the big smooch, locking lips with the rapper before their time on the red carpet was up. The unconventional couple was first spotted together in November of last year, sparking engagement rumors before the year was up. The couple has also garnered criticism over their 40-year age gap, which Cher was quick to shoot down. Also in attendance at the Versace show were pregnant Rumor Willis and her mom, Demi Moore, who twinned in all-black ensembles for the big event. As the two enjoyed a girls' day out amid... Okay, why does that matter?
We're just chatting.
Well, they wanted to bring into Demi Moore was noted as dating younger men at one point too. Remember, she dated Ashton Kutcher. And that was the first yeah, you see, that was the first big young person.
I remember that.
Yeah, so they kind of brought her in.
They were in love though.
Yeah, well,
it's so called.
Demi Moore was hot at her time.
This is we know what's going on right here though.
Do we though? I mean,
yes.
I mean, this has been going on since November. See, the thing is that Cher's not going to marry him.
Yes, he's not going to marry her.
Well,
he would if the money was right.
Well, I mean, the money is right.
I mean, but not right now. This is just a good time.
The money. If she asked him tomorrow, like, you know, Cher is the equivalent of Elizabeth Taylor, who married so many different men. The only difference is that Cher has been able to keep it all together at 76. That's rare to even look the way she looks.
Well, we don't see her without makeup, so we can't say that.
Or
true
naked.
Indeed. But true indeed. But you know, the thing is it doesn't matter to him in respect where he's either enjoying the public eye or he feels like he can stay in long enough to get that dough.
I'd be smiling just like him. It doesn't matter.
Look, nigga, he got the gold buttons on his shit. You know what I'm saying?
Are we wrong by not even mentioning that maybe there is a mental connection there? Maybe he is enjoying things.
He could be attracted to it.
Right.
He could, but...
Well, are you saying attracted in the sexual sense or in the mental sense?
All that. He could have a fetish for older women.
Okay, because then it even goes to like the August Alsina where, you know, she was mentoring him in a sense, right?
That bitch was never mentoring him, bro.
She told him to read some books, and he said I wouldn't have been able to, you know, she gave me some books to read, and it helped, and she was there for emotional
She was never
support.
mentoring him. She never mentored
Maybe
him.
she was teaching him some sexual things that he needed to know.
She never mentored him. She got some young dick, and I'm sure she's been doing it for years.
Yeah.
And any young
Hollywood is noted for that.
Any young man,
I know guys that
and any young man following the '90s boom, man, they know who the fuck Jada Pinkett Smith. I would have fucked Jada Pinkett Smith.
Right over the mixing console.
Smashed her face into some shit. I don't know.
And the grand piano.
Dude, she was not fucking mentoring him, and he was allegedly her kid's friend.
Yeah, Jaden.
She already knew her intentions in the beginning.
Nigga, he knew what the fuck was happening.
Right, of course. He wasn't. Yeah, you know, he when he wrote his book, he claimed that he was so innocent and he was taken advantage of. But here's the thing:
he was supposed to write his book like that.
Yeah, of course.
Of course. They just Hollywood is such a big fucking game, bro. Okay. You know, I mean, again, Zach Fox,
I'm not mad at him. I'm not mad at him.
You know, I'd be grilled the fuck out too.
That's probably like 50 right there.
You know what I'm saying? Enjoy, bro. I hope you get it, because plenty of women get it, and they do not get ridiculed for it.
Now, if it was a man,
that's the point,
and a younger woman, then everybody's gonna say, "Oh, that's wrong."
Not Roy Jones.
There's a boxer.
Sugar Shane Mosley, his wife, got like half of his title belts.
Roy Jones' wife fine too.
The Latin one that he was with. You talking about, or the one before the Latin?
Whoever it was, but the nigga, she got some of his title belts in their divorce. No ridicule.
You know, I coached her as an actor.
That's wild.
Didn't even realize
that bitch is sitting there with title belts that she ain't ever gonna use.
Right, but she got them though.
No use for them. Not to mention money. You know, they don't get ridiculed for senseless, because that's clearly senseless. They don't get ridiculed for senseless rulings like that. A nigga, no pun intended, but a dude getting with an older chick and potentially having a payday, you know, in his future because of that.
He's using her.
Everybody's talking shit. Leonardo DiCaprio and the young bitch.
I saw that recently.
Too,
yeah,
you know?
Yeah. Well, what if he's just wanting that, you know,
whatever.
Again, it says he was 36, right? This guy here that we just
36, 37.
You know, what if he doesn't want to have kids and he's not looking to really build and he's got his own and he really just enjoys having a good time with Cher?
I mean, I'd be having a good time with a bitch that could afford it too.
That's facts.
I could never see it as, man, you know, this bitch Cher is so interesting. Women are not interesting. Women barely have personality.
They don't have nothing in common.
We're not the same. There's very few women who I would say, wow, she's pretty funny.
Do you think it's something
Any of that
in
kind of
regards
shit.
to there is a win for him and to be able to say, yo, like I bag share?
Sure, that's what I would say. What was it, 50 Cent? Nigga, Vivica Fox was a nice chip in his belt.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Coming from New York.
Vivica Fox. Okay, yeah. You have to go back and.
No, I think I do.
Yeah, but you would have
probably
to.
know her
There's
face,
specific films that put her on the map.
Was she in a Jamie Foxx movie?
Was she? She might have been. He might have did a film, but the film that she did was called Independence Day, and she played a stripper in that, and that's kind of what made everybody go, "Whoa."
I need that.
You know what I mean?
Yeah,
but she had been
goofy
around
as
for a
fuck
while.
now,
Yeah. Well,
She
plastic surgery.
done fucked her face up.
Black women, are very, very caught up in this plastic surgery.
And all they got to do is go to the gym, and it all stays together.
Absolutely.
Because you're black, you have good genetics.
Absolutely.
Walk.
Yeah.
Work out, bitch. Stop.
Get your diet right and work out. Yeah.
Chasing whatever TV says you're supposed to look like.
Well, there was the validation of white people.
We age gracefully.
Yeah, the validation of white people. So we mentioned before, what's too old for some guys? What do you think?
Well, that depends.
Like if Cher was 80, would that be like, oh, come on, man?
I mean, it depends. I don't know. How she?
I mean,
how does she look?
How is she gonna catch you? Is the real question.
Yeah.
Well, there's an 80-year-old woman online who
Is beautiful.
works out. Yeah, I saw her recently. I was like,
The
what?
70-something-year-old chick.
Yeah, I think she's like 78 or 79.
I was just looking at her
Yeah,
yesterday. I'm about to show you.
yeah.
What the fuck was her name? It's on my Instagram too. Yeah. This
okay,
this
yeah.
is-
Oh,
you know
yeah.
what I'm saying? She was very attractive.
Yeah, back in the day.
Now she looks awful, but
Well, they don't have the stripper scene because that was the man. She
Go home and watch it.
it is what it is.
Mm-hmm.
I'm about to pull that up for you. So this chick, and we could share this on the shit. It must be on my phone. What the hell was it? Let me check real.
Is that her right there, Ellen? Actor fit.
Oh man, I'm blind as hell, bro.
I was like,
Blind as shit. So, go ahead and share this with y'all. Right? Now, me personally, I have a few things to say about this, but this is her most recent thing, and it was, I think, a follow-up on, because of Rihanna wore the red shit and all of that, so she went and took her little photos. She's supposed to be like 70 years. She's in her 70s, though. She's not just 70 years old.
Right, yeah, that's old.
But excuse me, wrong one. And no disrespect to her, but what the fuck is a 70-year-old bitch doing on Instagram doing this? Where's her husband?
Probably dead.
And I could be wrong. Maybe she
Probably
was
died.
married. She
That's
could be
real.
widowed.
He probably died. Yeah.
If you're widowed, again, what are you doing?
She's going for them young boys.
What are you doing?
Is that a problem though? If an older woman, just like an older man, wants someone young and they can
If
financially provide that time, is that a bad thing?
if we're looking at what's wrong with the dating game today, with the courting game today, with
Because the question, listen, in her defense, the question would be how many older men her age can keep up with her if she's still in that space.
Sure.
Which is why a lot of older men date younger women because there's most women. I mean, once you get to that point where you geriatric in a sense, you know, goddamn. I hadn't saw that photo. And I hope that's not photoshopped. You know. But shit,
I'm sure
man.
there's some Photoshop cleanup.
Well, listen, man. A lot of women in their 70s don't even have an ass.
Sure, but
no, she could get it. That's not that. She could definitely get it.
But my point being, if we're looking at what the issue is,
Because we talk about when a person gets older, they have to set example. I remember we spoke about that.
That's exactly what I'm about to get at.
Yeah.
She's the example for the younger women that men are having problems with.
That's the fact.
They see this from a 70-year-old. She got a granddaughter on here that she's swimming with or some shit. I was just looking at her yesterday.
Oh
yeah.
my God.
No, this is her daughter. Her granddaughter.
Her genes are good.
Where the fuck is the one with her
Looks
granddaughter?
like she's got Jamaican or kind of
Caribbean. Yeah.
Mhm.
It was some shit with her granddaughter.
Indeed.
Was it this one? Maybe. One of them. She has her daughter and her granddaughter on here, and they're, whatever, doing their thing and all of that kind of shit. Again, if this is the example, why 70-year-old seeking this kind of attention? Why?
Let's say she's not married or
In a
never
public,
been married.
I'm saying in a remember, young women, she's setting the example for them.
That's
Because
facts.
someday, this is who they're gonna be. Well, I'm only 50. When so and so was 70,
Oh, I see.
that's what niggas have to deal with.
Yeah,
That's
it's
facts.
bad.
No,
I
that's
mean,
that's real.
well,
The
listen,
same way I told you, when I say men, it's your fault. When you're with a woman and you're not giving her some sense of program, this is what we're doing. These are the rules.
guidance.
This is what we do and don't do. And then say y'all don't work out. When she goes to the next dude, is she taking the knowledge that you gave her or the fucking stupidity that you gave her?
Mhm.
So she fucking the game up. If you okay, I got
You're fucking the game
Yeah,
up
yeah.
if you didn't do what a man was supposed to do with a woman in that scenario.
That's
Just
real.
guidance.
That's real. Yeah.
Because now another young nigga got to deal with that.
Mhm.
Or just another dude in general has to deal with however you left her. Are you leaving her with game?
Mhm.
My ex-wife, let me tell you something. I was telling her all the time, you talk too motherfucking much. You're saying too much.
Mhm.
You're doing too much in this scenario. You're moving too fast. You're not, and she's smart as hell. No disrespect to her. But she had those moments where she was just a woman. And that's fine. But if there's a particular realm that you're trying to be successful in and how you want to interact with other people, maybe you talking too much right now.
Mhm.
Shut the fuck up a little bit.
Mhm.
That's facts.
You know what I'm saying? Stop giving up too much info. You giving up the pussy too quick.
Mhm.
You know what I'm saying? Proverbially, not literally.
Yeah.
Let them come to you. That's your grace as a woman. Allure them. Use that properly. Now she's about to get married again.
Mhm.
And dude is willing to take care of her daughter.
Mhm.
You know what I'm saying?
Mhm.
Did I fuck the game up?
Nah, you helped.
When we split, I left her with all of my furniture,
Mhm.
all of my fuck is it called, nigga, dishware and all of that shit. Like I didn't leave her high and dry. I left like a man should, in a sense. I ain't saying, nigga, leave with empty pockets and then go completely restart over.
Yeah.
But I am saying if you're doing what the fuck you're supposed to be doing in the first place, leaving like a nobleman is not gonna hurt you in any fashion. You see what I'm saying?
That's real.
So when this is women's example, a 70-year-old, an elder,
Mhm.
she's supposed to be the big homie right now.
Yeah.
She's supposed to be the big homie's big homie
Well,
because she's 70.
the issue, and we know this in regards to the black communities, black people are always chasing white people to be like them. I mean, Cher's what, 70, 76?
Yeah.
We're also validating what they tell us is valuable about us. Our bodies,
Mhm.
our looks, our sexuality.
Mhm.
That's what they champion the most in the media,
Say fuck the mind.
and we validate that.
Yeah.
Mhm.
We perpetrate that, or perpetuate that.
That's real.
Actually, yeah.
That's true. Yeah.
Wow. I'm just saying, man.
That was some real shit.
You
It
know?
is.
No, because
man.
now there's gonna be females in my generation looking at her and just, okay, let me put my body out like this. Like, I don't need to do. Yeah.
And imagine the chick did everything else right for you, right?
Yeah.
Y'all in your 30s. You getting towards your 40s. Y'all got kids now. She's like, you know what? I'm a bounce back from these kids or whatever. Let me get in the gym.
But do it together.
Let me get on the internet
But that's what
and,
it's
and put
about.
on all of this shit
Listen, I
and
think,
all of
I
that.
think
Well,
that,
so and so was 70 and she
well,
was doing it.
I think it's
gotta deal with that.
I think it's an issue, especially when it comes to dating, where social media has made it to where when I see married couples who work out and they both got pages of their own,
But
throwing
social
up.
media is people's reference point for real life, and social media is not real life.
Of course, but that's what I'm mentioning. I'm mentioning the destruction of a couple because of that. It's like, why are you if you're in a relationship, right, husband or wife, and a boyfriend or girlfriend, and you're supposed to be so serious. Why are you online doing OnlyFans type photos?
You're attention seeking.
Well, I disagree with that. No, because look, if my girl is doing it and she's getting money,
That's different.
yeah,
I agree with you.
Yeah,
Money.
now, if she getting money, I don't mind. Do what you.
That's an agreement y'all make together.
Yeah,
But a lot of these people are not.
Oh yeah,
doing
if you
it for
just
money.
doing it for attention,
Yeah.
then that's
Because
stupid.
I'm coming off of what he's
This
saying
is
about her.
public. This is up for public consumption.
Mm-hmm.
Again, remember what you do as a man
Mm-hmm.
dictates how she operates with the rest of the world.
Yeah,
So if you and your bitches in y'all 50s, guess what?
yeah.
And you saying, well, she making money.
Mm-hmm.
Well, what about all the young black women that are looking up at her?
Mm-hmm.
What about all the young men, the young black men who have to interact with that young black woman?
So okay, I get
It's
what
still
you're saying.
your fault.
So I'm being
You
selfish.
fucking the game
I'm
up.
being selfish. Yeah.
You fucking the game
I know.
up.
See, I can accept that.
You got to look
I-
back and say, you know what? I was 20. Damn, I was 20.
That's
and
real.
the bitches I had to deal with,
That,
or the fools that I had to
What?
deal with,
yeah, that's real. No,
posing as women or posing as suitable women, but they weren't. Who made them that way?
Mm-hmm.
And then you gonna contribute to that.
no. See what you doing? Okay,
I'm just saying, if that is what it is that we're sitting here breaking down and analyzing, you got to know that it's gonna be full circle. So what you do matters. You know, I didn't mean to this show. I wouldn't mean to make this show about men in general, but what you do as a man matters.
Yeah.
Yeah, but it's still a very pertinent part of dating because that's
Sure.
where it starts.
Well, I'm saying, from the example that he just gave,
Mhm.
understand that it's full circle. You can't go, well, at least we got paid off of it.
Mm-hmm.
Think of what, nigga, look at what the fuck Kanye is going through right now.
Yeah, but Kanye,
His
see,
daughters are gonna see sex tapes
Right,
of the wife. one day.
but that goes back to what I always
Bad
say
decision
about.
making as a man.
Yeah, of course, and I mean, and this, because we're almost out of time.
Yeah,
But to sum it up, it starts in the dating or the courting process. The flags that come up to a lot of people.
Yeah.
The flags that come up for a lot of people, man. I don't think we have to do that this time. We just go to the other one now, right?
We could try it.
Okay.
I was gonna
But
run it.
the red flags that come up in when you're dating, and I think, kudos to you, E, that one of the things you do is you set those ground rules and you program what's going on with the program and you let them know. I don't think a lot of people are doing that. And I think they're
Because they're
just
scary.
Well,
scared.
they just don't know.
Yeah.
Well,
They weren't taught
Mm-hmm.
to operate in this fashion.
Mm-hmm.
Well, see, I wasn't. I just learned.
Yes, you learned. Welcome
Yeah.
to the circle. But
Yeah.
I'm saying,
Well, nah, yeah, I got
understand
you.
when you're the exception.
Yeah, facts. Because okay.
Right? So if you're the exception and you're not doing anything to contribute to rebalancing it, are you really an exception?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Ask yourselves that question. We'll leave it at that. Nigga, hit my music now, nigga. You know what I'm saying? Thank everybody for tuning in, man.
Shout out once again to Claudia. Congratulations for winning the safe. This show, again, will be pre-recorded on our next episode. And
Yes, sir.
we will be back to our normally scheduled regular shows very, very, very soon. Live. We'll be live again. So you'll definitely be welcome to come on part. Big shout out to one of our favorite people in the whole world, Eric Moore. We
How you
appreciate
doing?
you being a third guest
I
on the show.
appreciate you having
All
me.
right. Yeah, absolutely. And yeah.
Cool.
Cool.
Run it.
See you guys Thursday night.
Yeah.
Very interesting.
Muscles on the glory back. I stay calm and fat. I've been on the grind so long, hoes could never call me that. Please keep it short. I don't speak for all the rap. I'm your mechanic. I don't want no parts of whack. Keep throwing darts and wax. I'll melt you. Every beat got a birthday. I just make it special. If you came to wrestle, maybe we can do that. Jam and bring the doses and show you where your shoes at. Exactly where the proof at. I ain't gotta prove stats. I don't need the hookup. I've been staying blue-black. Straight from where the news at. Life-size showdown. Story I survived. Made them lie with most down. Painting what I wrote down. I imagine it. I would broke the canvas. Every stroke is passionate. Asking why you smashing shit. I'm just practicing so I can get it in when it's out. Ain't no accidents for real.